hold up for a minute. I know you can't really see me too well, and that's good. Okay, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight we have our president of Change Starts With Us Ohio, Shiloh Rafferty, and she's married to Patrick Rafferty, who is innocent of what he is in prison for, and she's going to talk a little bit, and give some particulars in the case. And we need to unite and work together to help get these people out, everybody. Okay, Shiloh, start talking.
Well, in 2005, Patrick, those of us that know him call him Shane, of aggravated murder, kidnapping, abuse of a corpse, and gun specifications out of Summit County. He was convicted on the testimony of co-defendants with no evidence, even though there is a video showing that he was not with the co-defendants.
And he was asleep at the time.
The video was played on a small screen in the courtroom.
Right.
And the only piece of what they considered physical evidence that was presented was a shop vac that Shane admitted was his shop vac. It had a very poor match to his DNA, 1 in 80. With DNA, it's normally 1 in the millions to trillions. But the match to his was 1 in 80, so probably at least one other person in that building matched it as much as him. But it was his shop vac, and there was no DNA from the victim on or in the shop vac.
So how did they put that together to the crime?
One of the co-defendants, Lisa Penix, claimed that the shop vac was used to clean up the crime scene.
So DNA would be on the insects. I don't think you could get rid of DNA that easy.
If it were used in the cleanup at the crime scene, then yes, it would have been. With all the different parts for a shop vac, it would have been virtually impossible for them to completely.
Right. That's interesting right there. Right there, would be a good argument, since there was no DNA in or on the bag.
It wasn't just the bag, it was the entire shop vac. They checked the entire thing, and there was no DNA from the victim.
Okay.
And not only that, but in original police statements, it was stated that the victim was killed due to a relationship with another co-defendant's girlfriend.
Huh.
The other co-defendant was William Kramer.
Right. So I don't see how that puts your husband, even in the category. He was asleep at the time, to my understanding.
He was drunk, passed out in a bathroom floor 2 floors away.
Yeah, so when you're passed out and drunk, it doesn't really make sense that he would be able to even be there at the time. This is really a case that is messed up, and it didn't seem to me that he even got a fair trial.
According to the autopsy reports, the victim's blood alcohol level would have been the equivalent of having 1 to 2 beers, which supports Shane's claim that they were there when they all started drinking, but then they left.
Right. Now I want to bring up one
Shane's
thing.
claim.
Yeah. When I talked. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. When I talked to you the other day, I said, did you believe Shane automatically of his innocence? And you said no. You had to do the research to see for yourself.
I had to learn for myself. Yeah.
Right. And did you find out what Shane told you was true?
According to over 8,000 pages of court documentation and multiple videos, video taken from a gas station at the BP gas station in West Virginia, and interview videos that I've seen, I have no doubt that he was telling the truth.
Okay.
After spending years investigating it myself, reading everything from the co-defendants' conflicting reports to the actual trial itself, I have no doubt that he's innocent.
Yeah, without mentioning the name, do you have an idea who the killer could have been?
From my own research, I think I do, but
Okay.
I'm no detective myself. I'm
Right.
just going off of reports and court documentation and video.
Right. What is your husband's sentence?
Life without parole.
And he was facing the death penalty at first, correct?
Yes.
Did he take a plea deal or?
No, he took it to trial. He took it to a jury trial.
Yeah, because the reason I asked that, I do know.
What I was told from multiple people that were at the trial,
Uh-huh.
there were a couple members of the jury that actually came up and apologized to him and his family that they only found him guilty because the jury had been sequestered and they wanted to go home.
Yeah, I've heard about those cases. You know, the jury's in the room for 3-4 days and they're tired, so they get, one or two gives up their stand and it convicts a person unfairly.
Exactly.
Right. So that's what it seemed like in your case. It would have been easy, in my opinion, for it to go the other way around, but the evidence that you have found and the lack of evidence that they had, one was, like you said, the shop vac, him being passed out on the floor from being drunk. All those things should apply to the case to show that there's no way he would have been able to commit the crime.
And not to mention, they originally in police statements, they said that the victim was murdered due to a relationship with William Kramer's girlfriend.
So what would that have to do with
During trial, they changed it and said, he was having a relationship with Shane's girlfriend. But they proved that was untrue with phone records.
Yeah. I interviewed his girlfriend at the time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she believes 100%, folks, that Patrick, or Shane, as some people call him, is innocent. Look back at the videos. We have some of Patrick from a long time ago. And start listening to the videos and come to the conclusion of yourself. Let's work together and help each other out. If you're an attorney, an investigator, please offer your services. These people need your help. Okay, so
there's also another way that they can hear Shane's story is there is a podcast out of Texas called Talk of the Cell Block. Season 2, Shane has an episode on there. Jose Martinez does a really good job with his podcast as well.
I know Jose. Can you post that on the wrongful conviction page?
Yep, that I can.
Good. That would be interesting so people can actually see. And it would be, I wish we could have had that on YouTube as well.
And I would like to give a little bit of a shout out to Mr. Martinez, who successfully had heart surgery, and our prayers are with him at this time. He appears to be doing very well.
Right. He was on my old page. I don't know if he's on this page or not. But I've talked to him before, and actually I was going to do a show with him at one time, but I think that's when I had my stroke last year.
Yep, he's an amazing individual.
Right. And we need more people like that. My friends that are listening, you that do podcasts, YouTubes, let's get Shiloh on there and tell her story. And some of these other, they don't have to be all from Ohio, because we do from 50 states, do interviews and so forth. So let's get these people on the air and let's share the videos, send it to the news media. And let's get someone to listen to the truth. I mean, it's the media a lot of times would take the state side automatically. And all we're doing, all we are asking for them is to have an open mind and listen to the evidence and then decide on their own instead of automatically say the state is right.
And anyone that would like to see any of the documentation, I post a lot of it, and including the gas station video that shows that Shane was not even with the co-defendants. I have all of that posted on his Facebook page, which is Wrongful Conviction Patrick Shane Rafferty.
Okay. If you want to post that underneath the video on the group chat,
Yep.
and your email as well, and our business phone number. Shiloh has our business phone number, which I don't know what it is, but we do have one. I got it programmed in, so I don't have to memorize stuff anymore. What's the next step now with Patrick? You're waiting for some stuff to happen, and you really have not filed any court or motions at this point yet.
Well, currently he's exhausted his appeals. He's been incarcerated 16 years, so all his appeals are exhausted. His case is currently in front of the Conviction Integrity Unit for Summit County, and also in the application phase, awaiting review with the Exoneration Project.
Yeah. Is there anything that our viewers can do, send letters, emails, make phone calls to help out in this case, or should they hold off?
A lot of it is just a waiting game, but yeah, a lot of it is pretty much just a waiting game while they review all of the information. Hurt for them, distracts them from their purpose of reviewing the case itself.
Yeah. Hi, Zane. Thank you for watching. At least we got one viewer on Facebook. Usually we get, there'll be more people throughout the evening that will watch it. A lot of people are just coming home from work. Our YouTube videos, though, have been getting quite a few views. Right now we got 12 people watching it live on YouTube. But, we've been averaging close to 100 or more views. We have one that's got 5,500 views. That's a guy on death row. But the sad thing is, if you don't have a lot of money, or if your stature is not like what other people consider worthy, you're not going to get a fair trial.
That's very true.
It's not race anymore. It's not black and white like people think. It's about statute. Right now in Ohio prisons, we have actually more white people because of the heroin epidemic. And that's how they label people. When it was crack, they said it was black. So at one point, when there was too many blacks in there, the judges were told to convict more white people. And then they went to more black people. I've talked to a few judges that told me that was happening. So they didn't really care who was being convicted, but they tried to make it racially balanced. Which it never was. It used to be more black people regardless. Now it's slightly over, and it's like I said, because of the heroin epidemic, and the drug issues that we have right now. 60% of Ohio population is doing 2 years or less. Drug related robberies, those type of crimes. So we need a pull together and start helping these people. I'm not a researcher. I'm an organizer, but we need educators. If Teresa Edwards is watching, we need your help. Attorneys like Joel Spitzer out of Delaware, we could use his help. There's quite a few lawyers I have on the page. If you would be willing to invest one free case a year to help these folks out, we would appreciate it. Just one case. If we get 5 to 10 attorneys that to agree to help that way, I think we can help the Innocence Project take on some of these cases and help get some of these folks out. So, but did your husband go through the Innocence Project?
He tried to go through the Innocence Project back when he was first incarcerated, and at the time they were only handling DNA cases.
Right.
But there's no DNA in the case.
Now they do have a non-DNA. Yeah, they do have a non-DNA section now, but that's only like 2 years old or so. So he may want to check there again. Because I know a few people that DNA was not involved, and they're representing them right now. And then the public defender's office also has a innocence type project, but they only have one attorney, one law clerk, and one paralegal that works on cases. So they're limited on what they can do.
Yeah.
But if we could get enough attorneys to volunteer some time, we can help these people, get more people out. I think 2 women have only been released that I can remember in the, last several years. And I think it's 28 men since the Innocence Project started or something like that. And you figure, Shiloh, you took the statistics on how many innocents there is. Didn't you say around 5%?
Currently, the statistic is 2.3 to 5%, which in the state of Ohio alone is between 909 and 2,200 people incarcerated right now that should not be.
Is that those that are wrongfully convicted that committed a crime, just not what their conviction was?
That is actual innocence.
Okay. Because we know there's quite a few, and I was one of them. Mine was not attempted kidnapping. I would only got 6 months, but there's so many other people that had those cases as well. But we're spending and we're dedicating our time for the innocence of prisoners. And, hopefully somebody will listen and take what we're saying seriously and go the extra mile. If people would like to make a financial donation, if it's to help Shane or the group, we do have what's that called? A Cash App. We also have a website that's got PayPal, which is www.changestartswithusohio.org. It does not have our new phone number though on it. We have to get that on somehow. But I'll read off our business phone number. It's right here. Okay, here it is. Okay, and Shiloh has his phone number, so feel free to call. It is 614-634-3169. Again, it is 614-634-3169. Hi, Betty. Thank you for joining us today. Betty, we're talking with Shiloh Rafferty regarding her husband, Patrick Rafferty, who is incarcerated in Ohio, who is totally innocent of his crime. And our goals, like we were saying, is to be able to get attorneys to volunteer some time to help some of these folks out. If you don't have a lot of money, the bad thing is they're going to stay in there, even if they're totally innocent. It's all about money. People just don't want to help those that are not, I don't know if you want to call wealthy, but those that can't pay a full price to get out. So what else would you like to add to this case, Shiloh?
I keep everything on his Facebook page. That way people can look at it and make their decisions for themselves. Okay. It's not my place to try to tell people, look, he's innocent. You have to believe me just because I say so. Mm-hmm. It's all out there, and anyone that has any questions can feel free to message the page or email or call or text, and I will answer or supply any documents or video that anybody wants to see.
Right. I have a different way to kind of figure out if people are innocent, and I found this to be true even with Shane or Patrick. When they tell you your story, if it stays the same, I guarantee they're innocent. But if one little thing changes, and usually every time you talk to them, something would change, then there's a good chance they're not. I was told that by Barry Scheck several years ago, who started the Innocence Project. He also stated those that stop fighting for their cases after 3 years of their incarceration is usually guilty. Those that are innocent continue to fight their case. How long has Shane fought his case?
16 years.
So that's a good sign, folks. We are asking you to look at the evidence. If you want to contact Shiloh, she's got a Facebook page. What is your name on Facebook anyways?
My name on Facebook is Shiloh Raphael.
Shiloh
I can
Raphael.
also be found under Shiloh Rafferty. It's on there.
Yeah, so you could look up those names, inbox her. She could send you information. Look up her Facebook page. What is it? Total Innocence, Patrick Rafferty.
Wrongful Conviction, Patrick Shane Rafferty.
Okay, and she'll post that underneath this video, and reach out and offer help if you're able to. And let's start getting some of these people home that deserve to be home, that are totally innocent. And then those that also have done way too much time than what they should have done for their crimes. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back for our next interview. I'm not sure who that would be offhand. But thank you. Shiloh, you have anything to say?
No, just always keep looking into the facts yourselves.
Okay.
Don't just take other people's words.
One other thing I forgot to mention, if you have a loved one incarcerated, if you would like our group to send them a Christmas card, please inbox Shiloh and give your loved one or friends information. That would be the name, number, and prison address, and we'll do our best to send them cards. If you're able to donate stamps, and if we have more than enough, we're going to send out birthday cards. We also have letters that we need to send out to prisoners, which I'm not good at. I got about 20 letters here for you, Shiloh, by the way. I'm getting them also still from Fair Treatment still, asking what's happening with the bill. We are working on a proposal, folks, to cap sentences off at 20 years. So look for an update on that periodically. But if you can donate stamps, or if you would like to send a check, you could make it out to Change Starts With Us, Ohio. Send it to 1141 Oakwood Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43206. We do have a phone bill we need to pay. We have office equipment that we have to get, and also ribbons that we have to cover the cost for. And you figure some of us use quite a bit of ink, and it's cheaper to go to Kinko's sometimes to get stuff printed off. So, but when you got to do so many copies of stuff, it does cost money, folks. Also, the JPay too. We JPay a lot of prisoners. Okay, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, have a great night. Hold on a second. Okay. Not a bad